The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico and Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning. I'm Paige Clarke.
Nice job. It's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater. 48 degrees, kind of chilly, but partly cloudy. It's going to warm up to about 70, and then the cold front comes back in. So we've got lots of cold fronts.
That's
I'd like
right.
to
we
remind
know
you,
that's coming.
today is the day we got the brand new Health Signals newsletter, number 2. It starts off with why we eat the foods we do. These are really good articles in the beginning of this newsletter to show you how we got where we are now, and then, of course, how to change it back to being healthy.
Yeah. It really is up to us to educate ourselves and not fall victim to a lot of the news media that may have a vested interest, because after all, the news media is actually controlled mostly by corporations and commercial industrial things. So it's really important to really take control, because the new healthcare is self-care. Guys, we want to make sure you pick up our Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. Why do you want to pick up the Primal Edge Daily Nutrition? Because it's a one-shot wonder. And it's actually powered by what we call nature's miracle molecule, which are the fulvic and humic acids. And by the way, Nico, I sent you a phenomenal interview by Dr. Stephanie Seneff. Many of you know we've quoted Dr. Stephanie Seneff. In fact, I'm going to have her on the show because she's just amazing. MIT, double PhD, molecular biologist, etc. Just one fascinating pearl after the other in this interview, and she expounded on the power of the fulvic and humics, particularly in helping us address the issue of glyphosate damage and so forth. But I just wanted to slide that in because Primal Edge with the fulvic and humic helps you get the good stuff in.
And takes the bad stuff right out, and that's the way we want it. So I wanted to first introduce our guest for Thursday, because Paige contacted Bruce Pulver, is it?
Yeah, Bruce Pulver.
He's got a great book, Above the Chatter, Our Words Matter. And one of the things is, and I've often said this too, that the words we say to ourselves and to others, of course, directly impacts our thoughts, emotions, intentions, actions, and ultimately our outcomes.
And I've always said, be careful what you say, because every one of your cells is listening.
Exactly.
Every one of them. Bruce Pulver is a super guy. Went to high school with him. He now lives in Atlanta. But this is a little bit of the story. I want you guys to tune in, because he's got a great story. And I think he's going to share some real wisdom with us, because he was forced into an unexpected career transition. And as he says, so this just touches my heart. It was a layoff, and it was imperative that he muster the strength to find a new way of providing for his family. What a man. That's what I say. Anyways, how can I maintain a positive outlook after being let go and forced to deal with the cruel reality of landing a new job position and career? So one morning, a single message awakened him, and it pounded in his head, and it was the word strong. And I must be strong for my family. And he quickly reached for his nightstand and his journal, and out came the words, the powerful words above the chatter. His word mattered, and it really inspired him to stand tall, remain optimistic, and now go for it.
It's a powerful message, and I'm very excited to have him on the show. Words mean a lot to us in this
And this
day.
has become a daily routine for him.
Has it?
And he created this book.
Oh, cool.
What a way to start your day.
It's a powerful way to start your day, and I was really lucky because I was brought up in a family where my father always questioned, how lucky can I get? he always said, I'm a lucky guy, and can I be this lucky to get this and to get that? And he always was, you know, and that's a powerful thing, and I carry that with me, something that he gave me. Hopefully I'm passing this on to my children and things like that.
Well, you sure pass it on to me, Nico. You are a very powerful, positive person, and incidentally, within 45 days, Bruce landed a fantastic position with a great company and hasn't looked back since. And the messages continued to flow because when you inspire and you do the good, it just multiplies for you. So we'll look forward to having Bruce Pulver on our show live on Thursday, so make sure you tune in and join us.
That's right. Now, I put this little show together around this article here, which was 11 largest nutrition lies in the media. And I like this article by DrAxe because it gives us solutions instead of just identifying the problem. And we know in the news these days that you really have to sift through it to find out what really is happening and what is not happening. There's a lot of agendas out there, and in the food industry, there's a huge agenda. So that's why I really wanted to go over this. Plus, it's a new year, and this kind of will help set us up, I think.
Yeah, as we said when we opened the show, it really is up to us to weed through all of the information that's coming out. And unfortunately, food is big business. And as we've learned from David Dubine of Adapt 2030, food is going to be an even bigger business. In fact, it's going to really drive commerce as we enter the grand solar minimum, and food issues become even more scarce. But
yeah, he says here, right, nutrition lies in the media are common. Studies subsidized by pharmaceutical companies, food manufacturers, and food associations are often tilted to make the public believe one food is healthier than the other, and of course that spurs the sales and stuff. For me, the situation really started in the 60s with the health craze, people trying to find health food, and at the same time the manufacturers trying to find stuff that will stay on the shelves.
Exactly.
And so we come up with the first one.
Well, I sent you that movie, and so if you guys have a pen and paper, just to interject here, because you made that point, found a video in my Facebook feed called the New World Order Diet, the NWO diet. It's
sounds horrible.
Yeah, it was actually produced last year. Has some older clips in it, but it kind of ties everything together. But it really goes back to earlier governmental plannings where they talked about the need to move people away from animal products into vegan or vegetarian type diets because of the shortage of meat products. It had nothing to do with our health, guys. It had more to do with the money. And I believe that a lot of the foods that are promoted as health foods are not, in fact, health foods for a human being.
Well, one of the illustrations on there that the gal was talking about, and I forget which one because there was a lot of speakers on that and clips from all over the place.
Right.
But it was cool because they had one study where they fed rats, I think it was cornflakes.
It was cornflakes.
And they fed them the box.
One grains, one cornflakes, and one of them they actually fed the rats the box. Yes.
And actually the box was right in the middle. It wasn't the worst thing.
Right,
the worst thing was the cornflakes.
Yeah, the rats that ate the box actually outlived the ones that ate the cornflakes, and the ones that ate the cornflakes died of mental deterioration. Right. And let's just face it, as we've become a grain-eating society, what we've seen is an increase in mental health disorders.
That's right.
Because we're not getting the foods that our brain needs to be healthy. But when we come back, Nico's got a great article here that we want to go through and dissect for you, the 11 largest nutritional lies in the media. Are you believing some of these lies? Let's dig down and expose the truth. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Pick up some Primal Edge while you're at it, folks. It's sitting right there. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. So we're going over a list by DrAxe, you know, this is really the number one thing that I've always talked about, this number one lie. You must eat your whole grains, because during the 1960s, that's when this came about. This was the push of the brown rice. The
push of the culling, to begin the culling.
Okay.
Culling means to thin out
the herd.
Thin out the herd.
Mm-hmm.
So when low-fat diets became all the rage, an increase in whole grains was supported, and according to the USDA, as of 2000, Americans were consuming nearly 200 pounds of grain per year, up 45% over the last 30 years. Guys, we've been told for decades to eat more whole grains, right? Yes, we have, and this is why it makes DrAxe's list for the largest nutritional lies. What is the truth about whole grains, guys?
Well, the first truth is that they're not nutritionally dense, and they can actually harm you through their metabolism when you're digesting them.
That video that I mentioned earlier, the New World Order diet, that everyone should Google at YouTube and see, Sally Fallon, president of the Weston A. Price organization, gives you an example of what a nutrient-dense food is. Yep. A nutrient-dense food is an egg yolk. A nutrient-dense food is organ liver, okay? Yep. Those are nutrient-dense. There's no comparison between a whole grain or even a vegetable.
Yep. The gluten found in most grains causes inflammation in the body, which leads to many chronic diseases and conditions, including allergies, arthritis, cognitive decline, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, GERD.
It goes on and on,
It
right?
really does. And the problem is that, like I said many times, the Japanese found out a long time ago, and the Chinese found out a long time ago, that the white rice was the better thing, and they kind of laughed when they were shipping the brown rice over in the 60s, and how crazy the Americans are that they want this dirty stuff with all the dirty stuff in it.
That was the beginning of all the gut disturbances, because gluten found in most grains causes inflammation, and it leads to these diseases. But the naturally occurring starches in whole grains causes a surge in insulin levels, because they are quickly turned into sugar during digestion, and this fluctuation in insulin levels can be detrimental for individuals with diabetes, but also cause those without diabetes to experience dramatic swings in energy and concentration. So, you know, these have really been kind of at the brunt of the lie is the whole grains thing, and it really does impact so many people's health.
One of the things it says here, it's associated with obesity and even infertility, as the spike of insulin in the body affects other hormone balances, including the metabolic diseases. Now, we've often said that the brain is the thing that really gets whacked here with a lot of these things when you're not getting the cholesterol to the brain in your body, because we now know that cholesterol is the protective things. There's a lot of hormones and things.
Our brain
tied
is
to
made
this.
of cholesterol and fat and saturated
Exactly.
fat. So.
And you can see in our society today how we have the violence and the anger, and people just kind of snap here and there. And really, this is due to our diet. It really is. And once we change our diets, people become healthy and mentally healthy. So this is a real big whack. And you can see how all these companies, and I don't think it's just the food companies, I always think law enforcement, you know, everybody wants money, and this is the way to gain the money to keep everything going like this. So the food is really important to our whole structure. Our society is built around these grains.
Well, could it very well be that the powers that be have been studying the ancient dynasties, and when they collapse, and they collapse around Maunder minimums and grand solar minimums, and food becomes a priceless issue, so they want the masses to believe that
This stuff is
this
good.
stuff is food, and it ain't food, guys. And actually, the phytic acid in whole grains binds to your essential minerals in the intestine, and they actually keep them from properly absorbing in your system. So as a result, we're going to see things such as mineral deficiency diseases, osteoporosis, and so forth. Gosh, Jack Cruz just had a great blog that I came across. Well, he's got so many, it's, you know, you dive in. But he's really talking about how he's determined the cause of osteoporosis and what we need to do to turn it around. We'll share that on another show. But, you know, eating calciums, that doesn't typically help with osteoporosis. It's multifactorial.
Yeah,
And it's really these phytic acids that are found in the outer covering, such as brown rice. Chinese had it right. Get that stuff off. And these phytic acids often create the stumbling block to keep you from absorbing the nutrients that you do need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the nutrients, if you look under a microscope, there's some nutrients in there. It's just not available for us because it just binds together to protect. Remember, our body is trying to protect you from the bad stuff. So if there's enough bad stuff in there, even if there's a little bit of good, the bad stuff kind of overrides it, and your body knows this.
And the phytic acids protect the seeds and grains to keep them as a seed until the proper time.
Right.
And remember when Carolyn told us at Carolyn's Kitchen that she was experimenting with some new flours. You know, in the paleo world, some people are making baked goods with other flours, and they're using such things as almond flour. But what she found, due to these phytic acids, the skin of the almond is, in fact, a phytic acid, protecting the almond. So she started buying skinless almond flour, probably from the Lacuna almond or something, and was using that. So I really was appreciating the fact that she was thinking and taking things to the next level and applying that for her customers.
And the
Very
further
impressive.
level would be to actually sprout these seeds before you use them.
And that's where the whole idea of spent grain bread or sourdough breads came. I mean, our ancestors, or even just a few generations ago, knew how to properly prepare these foods, and then we got busy, didn't we? We got busy, and we stopped taking the time to do things right. And
You're talking busy, you're talking about this kind of stuff too. But it was even before that we got busy, because the jobs and the school and all these things that society says we must do to educate ourselves so we'll be good citizens, all these things play a big part, I believe.
And DrAxe says, well, what about the fiber? Everybody thinks they need to eat bread for fiber. Bread is an actually poor solution for fiber. You're going to get more fiber in your vegetables, etc.
And we've talked in length.
We've talked about it. About that
fiber maybe not that great for us at all.
We might be, yeah, exactly. There could be a fiber menace. This might be an actual stressor. So the more you go down the rabbit hole, the more you realize all this stuff is crazy.
It's a new Star Wars sequel,
So
The Fiber Menace.
Right. What does DrAxe say is the solution to this pollution? He says eat sprouted grains and healthy fiber-rich foods, you know, and maybe in a minimal amount. If you're trying to reset your metabolism, perhaps whole grains shouldn't be included at all. And they're not really that good for you. And there are a lot of great tasting and nutrient-dense foods that are easily substituted in your diet. And not all carbohydrates are bad. In fact, we may enjoy them in our diet. The question is it the right carbohydrate, and is it the right time frame, and are you at the right latitude? This is when we overlay the brilliance of Dr. Jack Kruse's stuff. Example, eating a fibrous banana in Boston in the middle of winter is a circadian and latitudinal, longitudinal mismatch.
Well,
makes no sense.
Well, just remember, too, that grains are there for about 2 to 3 weeks when they're harvested.
Right.
So if you were about to eat grains, this would be the time to eat them when they're fresh and they're just made, and then you discard them, and this would probably instill something in your digestive system that maybe has a reaction that your body says, oh, I better get ready for something and what's around the corner.
I think that's a really great idea. I think I'm going to allow myself to have a well-placed sourdough bread or something during the harvest season, and then I'm going to forget about it. But at least you know you've got that to...
Well, it makes more sense. If we want to be in tune with it, we want to be in tune with the earth.
We have to be in tune with the seasonal plan.
Yeah.
Mother Nature's plan to provide you the foods that are the most nourishing to you at that particular time. So too, we'll get to lie number 2. Do you know what that one is?
I do.
Stay
Right
with
back.
us.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. Nico and I are talking about 11 largest nutritional lies in the media as suggested by DrAxe.com. Number 2, vegetarian diets are the healthiest. Well, while vegetables can be good for you, the truth is most vegetarian diets focus on large portions of whole grains, cereals, and not as many fruits and vegetables as they purport. Plus, it tends to be a diet rich in carbohydrates and relatively low in protein and healthy saturated fats. I'll inject, before you go on, and share the truth, according to DrAxe, that the truth is actually your diet depends on your light exposure and the season. So, as I said, if you live near the equator and you're out in the sun constantly, you can perhaps get away with fruit and vegetable type of diet a little more easily because you've got the UV exposure, but you live farther in the northern latitudes, you need to be more ketogenic. And that's what we're learning.
And that's the theory. One thing that disputes that a little bit is, and you're right, I think they eat more of those things rather than less of these things. And what Weston A. Price found was that every indigenous...
he never found an indigenous culture that was vegetarian that was healthy.
There you go. Well said.
Now, I mean, I know people keep referring to these blue zones, et cetera, et cetera. The bottom line is, remember, Dr. Weston A. Price was measuring bone structure and dentition and overall health and lack of dental caries, heart disease, or any metabolic disease. And he never found, after 40 years of traveling the world, a single culture that when they were in their natural environment, and that's the key with his stuff, in their natural environment, eating their natural diet and their natural chronobiology, he never found a purely vegetarian healthy.
The other thing he found that when people went over to the dark side, let's say,
they moved out of their...
Yeah, they moved out and they became part of society, but they were still close to the tribe and maybe visited the tribe. These people got sicker.
They absolutely got sicker, right. As soon as they left their dietary traditions and their cycles, their circadian cycles, things. But according to DrAxe, what he says is vegetarians can struggle with vitamin B deficiencies and maybe missing key nutrition for health. And I say many of them really have a hard time getting the fat-soluble activators of vitamins A and K2 because the best sources of those actually are animal-based.
Yeah, and most of the studies that go 10 years or 20 years into the future with vegetarians find that their health starts to decline at about the 10-year mark, maybe a little bit sooner for some people, maybe a little bit later for some people. And incidentally, they do find some really healthy people who have eaten vegetables most of their lives. So there's no doubt about that. Some people do better, some people don't. But as a general rule, they're not as healthy as
and I hear a lot of vegan or vegetarian people trying to sell me on the fact that they eat a balanced diet, but the majority of them don't. Because even people that eat a full diet, not eliminating any of the food groups, most people really don't eat a great diet. I mean, just the way our lifestyle is. We're eating out and we're not getting... But many, I just want to remind people that only animal-based proteins contain the essential amino acids and B12 necessary to thrive. And that's exactly what I see really concerns me. That's why I want people to watch. I'm going to plug it again. I don't even know who did it. The New World Order Diet video on YouTube. It's really kind of an anti-vegan, vegetarian documentary that explains that this whole push towards veganism or ahimsa is really a form of crowd control, very much like they did in India. They said, hey, look how successful we were in India to get all these people to basically starve themselves, not eat the proper nutrition, but they become very docile and easy to control. So here in the United States, we're trying to, create all these documentaries that cause people to look at the religious basis. And guys, none of us like much of the animal husbandry as we see is the case all over the world. But we really do have to take a look at what helps us to stay the healthiest. So we know that there's a lot of endocrine disruptors. Soy that is used by a lot of vegan vegetarians does disrupt endocrine and increases the risk of certain types of cancer and can lead to a lot of symptoms that we're seeing: endometriosis, infertility, cancer of the breast, prostate, and ovaries. These are all very common when we're using these estrogenic substances as a poor substitute for the true animal proteins and fats we need. So what's his solution for that one? Add responsible sources of meat, fish, and grass-fed or fermented dairy to your diet.
Yeah, he says if you do that, you're going to decrease your inflammation, you alkalize your body, making it less hospitable for the types of cancer. You get your blood levels
stabilize your blood glucose,
exactly.
and you're going to eliminate toxins, and you're going to get the ideal nutrients that your body actually needs, you know? And even for those of you that might be vegetarian, there's ways that there's certain foods, fat-soluble foods, the ghee and the butter and fermented kefir and eggs that really need to be included to get those adequate Bs.
Yep.
And what's the number 3? This is probably the most common.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
And that's why that movie that I told you about, the New World Order diet, really has some extreme experts that really debate that whole saturated fat is bad, how that lie came to us.
Over the last 50 years.
Basically devastated the health.
Yeah, it's a saturated fat was demonized by one study, and the health professionals across the world jumped on board and...
to do away with saturated fat.
That's right.
And as a result, we've suffered since, and our health has shown. And to this day, we have suffered while the drug companies have profited billions and billions of dollars. And that video I'm talking about, the New World Order diet, often shows Dr. Sally Fallon, Weston A. Price presenting compelling information on the health and the need for saturated fats in a healthy body. And the Russian PhD researcher, her name escapes me right now because we're on the air, but she's phenomenal. I've seen her speak a number of times. She's a immunologist that gives extremely important information in that video. And how, despite the evidence, the marketing machine took over.
Yeah.
And to the detriment of the health of millions of people.
So ingrained that you'll find the largest population of people taking Lipitor are really the professional doctors and their wives. That at age 55...
Well, that's why doctors and dentists have the lowest life expectancy, because they follow their own advice.
That's right. Good way of putting it, too.
I'm sorry,
but at 55,
I
have clients who have said at 55, we just automatically put ourselves on Lipitor. Just automatically.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely
But
stupid.
that's how the propaganda is so entrenched in the doctors. Of course, there's a lot of doctors out there that have learned otherwise. So.
Yeah, as we've presented, it's quite clear that the higher your cholesterol is, the longer you live.
Yeah.
To me, that seems like that might be a statistic you want to hold on to.
I think so, yeah. Saturated fats are good for you and critical to your body's function.
It's the bad oils, guys. We all agree, the hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils, but I think a lot of people have confused those terms. Hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated oils with saturated, they think, because they're solid. But that hydrogenation is what is damaging.
It's actually interesting because the good saturated fat is solid at room temperature, but when it gets in your body, it's liquid. And the ones that are bad are liquid to start out with, and get in your body, they create
Turn
little...
it like a rock.
Yeah, exactly.
So we want to, we've talked about this quite a bit. The solution, we want to incorporate healthy saturated fats in your diet, whether it be coconut oil, coconut manna, the meat from a coconut oil, and the healthy animal fats that come packaged in the animal foods. So we'll come back and continue to share the lies of the mainstream media when it comes to food and how you can hack that.
And remember, the new Health Signals newsletter is out, so grab that, please. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. If you haven't tried David White's weekly investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, then this month is your perfect opportunity. On January 17th at 5 p.m., Dave will be hosting a special subscriber webinar where he'll be presenting on the newest feature in his newsletter, short-term sector charts that work on both the madness and wisdom of crowds. Join Dave on January 17th as he describes the method he uses to recognize these signals on a sector-by-sector basis, and as he discusses how he used this new tool to buy the gold miners in their seemingly darkest hour in December. And all new subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. If you're a trader scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity, then now is a great time to sign up for the Technology Insider. For all the information and for details on Dave's subscriber event taking place January 17th, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. So number 4 lies, running is healthy. And this is very interesting. Of course, I was a runner for 30 years. It says here the problem, the running...
Yeah, the running craze started in the 70s at the same time as low-fat diets. And
that's
what do we got? We have
exactly
people dropping dead of heart attacks. They're marathon runners.
So we know a couple of things. We know that the short burst is much more, simulates what we used to do running from predators. And that makes sense to me. I started doing that because I did feel like my knees were hurting, my hips were hurting. And when I stopped that and went to jiu-jitsu and then went to short burst things, everything kind of fell into place. But I think there's also another side of this. And truly, you were mentioning during the break that Mark Sisson had heart problems.
Yeah, he actually shared with us that his overtraining and his marathon-type running created some type of AFib situation or something, a cardiac issue that he has since struggled with. And as he said, he damaged his muscles without the proper repair back in those 70s when he was exercising like this, guys. But really what we know, the truth is, exercise is better in bursts. It creates a situation where our body says, hey, I can do this. It didn't last too long. Hey, I think we'll start recruiting those growth hormones and all those survival hormones to really wake up so that I can do the next burst whenever she decides she wants me to burst again.
No.
So it brings up that. But see, over-exercising can lead to health consequences. And, you know, in my consult with Jack, since I've been kind of struggling with this chronic fatigue, some adrenal issues, that's the last thing he wants me to do. I'm not allowed to exercise. I mean, I can take a slow walk, but not exercise. When you're in adrenal fatigue, the last thing you need to do is create a stressor of extreme exercise. That's, you know, you work towards that after you get the support. Yeah.
The other thing is, too, our ancestors, of course, before we had spears and, devices to bring down animals, we ran down the animals because antelope and deer and they run in bursts, just like we're doing now. But we have the ability to run sustained. So we can run that 20 miles while the antelope sooner or later will drop dead, and there's our meal. What the difference, I think, is the nutrition that our ancestors got from that meal overrides the damage that maybe that long running does. So if you're having a really great diet with animal food like Paige and I do, then I think the long running can happen. But remember, our ancestors did this for a reason, for food.
Yeah, they
We're
weren't just
kinda
doing it because we feel like we have to do it to fit in our next bathing suit. They were doing it because they were hungry.
That's right.
Exactly. So here's lie number 5. Too much protein is hard on the kidneys and liver. A lot of people believe that we're overeating protein. And, I mean, before I get into this, I'm just going to put my 2 cents in. I think what we need is adequate protein and the right kinds of protein at the right time, equally through the day. Because we don't store protein, we use it or we get rid of it.
Well,
So-
in that movie you sent me, they're really stressing that our ancestors ate the blood, the kidneys, the heart, the brain, all these wonderful things, and that the meat was kind of a secondary thing. So we really were after the fat and all the nutrition that was in the organs.
Correct.
Our ancestors knew this stuff.
Yeah. And it's just so hard because we were not raised to think that way. This brainwashing or conditioning that these foods that are often being presented as health foods are in fact not health foods and not the ideal diet for the human being. It's really hard because many of us have a mental block, and we are allowing our heart and a lot of the atrocities that we see in the animal husbandry to really change us from realizing that these are the foods that are required for being a healthy person.
Yeah,
And
it does discourage you. If you go to a slaughterhouse, especially the mainstream type of slaughterhouses, you're going to get turned off, and maybe you're going to say, maybe this isn't the road going. But if you go to a place where they humanely treat the animals, remember, when we kill an animal, it's really humane. Most animals in the wild are eaten while they're still alive.
That's actually an interesting comment. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, the chain of nature is not very pretty, is it?
No.
I mean, it's probably...
But we do have defenses. Remember, if you've ever been in an auto accident or had a damage to your body in some kind of accident, you know your body goes into a field of it doesn't hurt until later.
God, Nico, that's a really good point. I mean, when you're a predator and you have a prey, your prey doesn't really get to say, hey, knock me out before you start doing that. It's
But it knocks itself out in a sense because of the
what
shock.
you're saying is
Yeah.
that there's, you know, and actually when I was in Mexico with the Jack Cruise Group, we went to some of the pyramids of the Mayan.
Great.
And then we were presented with some of their cannibalistic ritual information, and that's really kind of amazing, and that many of the people thought that was the ultimate sacrifice, so they were pleased to be selected.
This is kind of what their government, in a sense, did to them. Remember, there was a famine in those days, and they were starting to run out of food and starting to eat the maize more. And eat those types of food. And because of those changes, religion really came in to control the masses. So
Right.
you eat this, not this, and now the sacrifices have to take place. So there was a huge thing that took place. Nobody knows exactly what, but there was a lot of problems that they had in that society for them to turn to that.
Well, it was kind of interesting. We were a little pushed because of our tour, but it seems that they said that many families felt honored when one of their children would be selected as a sacrifice for the priest too.
No,
Sounds to me like they were taking care of the priests.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, same
Well,
sort of
how
thing.
many people feel honored to go into the army to go fight overseas? We feel honored to do that because we've been brainwashed.
Well, that's that movie,
Well, whatever
JFK
movie.
to 9/11, everything's a rich man's trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, look the worst. But anyways, getting back to the idea of, again, making sure that the people at the highest echelon have access to the foie gras and the organs and so forth, and while the rest of us are, you know, beating our drums and marching to the fact that, we think that we're being good citizens of the earth by being vegans, but in fact we're actually cannibalizing ourselves. That's what the movie said.
Yeah.
You're a cannibal of your own body,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what's happening.
So
there.
basically they're saying if you want to add healthy proteins in your diet, stay away from conventional meats and select only the organic grass-fed type, free range, that type of thing.
And
that
wild
makes a lot of sense.
seafood, I do believe that I believe that much of the shellfish was what the early humans, as we came out of the canopies and we started to find in the shallow waters, the shellfish, the mollusks, and so forth, the clams, that is part of what, and the high DHA content allowed our brains to
Yeah.
grow in size.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's lie number 6?
Number 6 is you should eat, and they say put the name of the hottest diet fad in there.
Oh, and boy, even in our lifetime, we've seen lots of diet fads coming by, you know?
And there'll be more. And not only that,
many times
it's also
I think
the craze with the, you know, this time of year, it's the craze with the exercise, the craze with changing your diet, the craze with a lot of things. But there are a lot of crazes, and it's paleo is one, veganism, gluten-free is another one. There's a lot of different diets out there. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
It's like one of my mentors said, it's not that any food is inherently bad. I mean, I still have a lot of people that are really anti-dairy. I'm against conventional dairy. When I talk dairy, I'm not talking about the dairy you buy at the grocery store, even Whole Foods grocery. That's pasteurized. That's not the same thing. I'm talking about from a farmer.
Yeah.
And
when we come back, we're going to talk about more about the farmer. So
yeah,
stick
it's kind of like
folks.
what you said. It's not what the food, it's what we do to the food.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back. Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here, and we're going over this list, and we're probably not going to have time to finish the complete
Well,
thing.
we know that the body needs diversity in nutrient-dense foods to get all the vitamins and minerals it needs, and nutrient-dense, guys, the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet are animal-based foods. So when we get to lie number 7, this is the one that just keeps me.
Cholesterol is bad, and the eggs are unhealthy.
That is just not true.
Or just
that
eat
is
the
a lie.
white part. Yeah.
That is just a lie, and for years it's such a shame that so many people were eating egg white omelets and throwing away the yolk where all the nutrient density is in the yolk. So the truth, eggs are not your enemy. They're a highly dense food, and better yet, eat a raw egg and a smoothie or something, and you're really getting some great
Yeah. Number
great
8
ideas.
is eating 5 or 6 small meals a day. stimulates the metabolism.
Yeah,
I'm down to 2 a day most of the time, and I feel better than ever.
This goes back about 5 years ago. You and I reviewed that book that I love that's called Life Without Bread by that Austrian researcher.
Right, yeah.
I think that's one of the best books to really explain the idea of how when you constantly graze, you constantly keep your insulin levels. They might be steady, but they're constantly at a higher level, setting you up for hyperinsulinism and what comes down the pike. So we know that we want to decrease our meal frequency through the day to stay healthier.
Yeah, the number 9 is all sugar is bad. And
it's not all bad according to DrAxe.
It's not all bad in its natural form.
Refined sugars, you know.
Yeah, I think adding sugar to things is probably not the thing to do, although it does taste good. But
our bodies were never meant. Insulin is an emergency stress hormone, as I learned from Ray Peat. It was never meant to be elevated and to be stressed.
Right.
And when we have any hormone that creates a resistance, we know we're pushing it beyond its bounds. So,
and sugar really, in its natural form, in the environment, is there today because we've made it that way, because we've cultivated our vegetables and fruits to be really, really juicy and full of sugar. If you take an apple these days, it's nice and sweet. If you go into the woods and find a crab apple or one that's been not cultivated, you'll find it's bitter.
Yeah, exactly. The apple itself is actually rather sweet, but it's not the apple that was originally the apple. It's all domesticated, just like our animals. So many people believe you can make up for a bad diet with supplements. I've probably kind of come around to this even more, you know, working with Jack Cruz. You can't supplement your way out of a bad health. You can't eat your way out of bad health. The only thing you can do really is change your entire environment, and those are all subsets of that. And you can't get well in the environment that made you sick. We really have to start looking at our light, realizing that we're light-based beings, and those are the things that are going to help us. So supplements are exactly that. They can fill in some blanks, but many people are using supplements very much the way allopathic medicine is, by throwing things, thinking that they can put a Band-Aid on it.
That's right. And the last thing on the list is that low-fat diets are healthy, and we know now.
That's been proven over and over again, and hopefully we're liberated and realize that fats are crucial for the healthy human diet. And they need to be a part of your diet every day.
And this is really dangerous because we have a lot of low-fat foods on the shelves that are labeled that way, and I see we still have a tendency to automatically go towards those things. I'm doing okay because it's a diet soda, it's not the real soda. I got stuff here, it's pasta, but it's low-fat. This is just an endless thing.
I just love the Triple G diet.
Triple G.
If your great-great-great-grandmother didn't eat it, then you can't eat it either. I mean, if it wasn't around back then, maybe that was even actually pre the mass sugar, which is what, might need to be a 6G, 6 generations back. Back in the 1700s, these sweeteners and everything were not as available. And we perhaps stayed healthier as a result.
Yeah, I'd like to remind people that we have a special guest on Thursday.
We have Bruce Pulver. Above the chatter, our words matter. There you go. There's our friend Bruce. So he'll be joining us via Skype and share his positive motivation so you can be starting the year right, remembering that your words matter above the chatter. We'll see
Thanks for sticking around, folks. See you next time. Bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.